Hey everybody. So as promised, Felicia, this is for you. I said I would be out here cutting chives today, so I have 3 chive plants to trim. So I'm going to have my son man the camera, and I'll show you how we trim chives. And then we'll go inside and I'll show you how we arrange them in the dehydrator. Okay, so we're just gonna go right to it. So I have some clean kitchen shears. I have a bowl to put them in once harvested. And then here are our chive plants. And you can see I've got a weedy little dandelion in there that I'm going to rip out. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of give them a shake because sometimes they have ants on them. You know, they like the food as much as we do. So just going to give them a shake. Now with chives, we're going to cut them down here at the base, and we're going to actually just do a clear cut. So it's going to look really, really harsh and really hacked, but that's normal. And within 24 to 48 hours, you're going to see brand new growth in this plant, and then we'll be getting a second, third, fourth harvest from them. So I like to wait till my flowers are open or starting to open, because I like to dehydrate the flowers too, because they make really nice garnishes in salads and add some really great delicate flavor. So let me just set my bowl down, and just going to grab the bottom of the stalk. I don't want that little bit of dandelion, not that that will hurt anything. And I'm just going to try to move the weeds and stuff out of the way, and I'm just going to cut. And it's really as simple as that. Take it out, throw it in the bowl. Same with the next set. I know this looks really drastic, but these will come back very quickly. Okay, so now we're going to go down to the next plant, and I'll get that little bit of weeds out of there later. Okay, and same thing, just going to brush over, get any ants or... Hey, pay attention where you're aiming, please. I don't need to see my feet, I need to see this. So that is pretty much all there is to it. Thank you, Kate. And so this is the rest of the herb. Well, whoops, I flipped it accidentally. You can see how much growth we've had since planting. I mean, the tarragon has gone crazy. So has the lemon balm. Celery's doing great. All the way right down there to the mint. So, Elijah, you want to grab that for me? We're going to go over here. And see, I've got some wild chamomile here. A path. Let's see. Now, see, these ones are just starting to open, but they're not quite as open as the other. So I think I'm going to leave this batch for a little bit, and we'll just go ahead and process this other one. So we're going to go ahead and take these inside. And then we'll get them prepped and in the dehydrator. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is trim the flowers. Elijah, you want to come man this while I trim the flowers? I don't know why did that light turn on? There we go. So I'm just going to take one of the trays and chop the flower heads. And I'll take the other tray and throw the greens in. Hi, Rose. So you can see there's a little bit of brown here, and I'm just going to snip that out. And I'll probably cut the stalks in half, just to get them a bit thinner. So chives are super simple. They add a lot of flavor to meals. Super easy to grow. And that one's got a little bit of a spider web in it. All right, we'll just wash it off. Wipe it off. And this is really all there is to it. Now, chives are relatively thin, so they're going to dry rather quick, as are the blossoms. So I don't expect these will dry longer than, I'm gonna guess on high they're gonna be dried within 6 to 8 hours. And that I think is gonna be actually on the long side. Worst case scenario within 24 hours. But I don't think it's gonna take that long. It never has in the past. So we're just going to go ahead Yes, you can eat the flowers. I dry them and use them as salad garnishes. You can also put them in pickles. They add a lot of flavor. And it's not a lot of work. I mean, really, you just grab and snip. You can hear they're kind of heavy. Oops, missed one. And the breast these ones are a little bit longer. So I'm going to layer them kind of thick because as the water is dried out of them, they're going to get super thin. And I don't want to waste space on the trays. And I'm going to keep the flowers at the top because I want them to dry without getting too discolored or burnt. No, I'm not. And the reason is because I want them to dehydrate. Number one, they're not, we just had a rainstorm yesterday, so they've been pretty well washed. We had thunder showers off and on all day. So I'm not worried about the cleanliness of them. Also, we don't grow with chemicals. I don't use pesticides on my plants. I only use all natural things that are safe to consume. So I'm not concerned about what may be in them. If I were getting these from somewhere else, then I may be inclined to wash them. The other thing is that if I wet them, you know, there's going to be absorption into the leaves of that liquid and it's going to extend the dry time. Oh, my phone's going to die. Go grab the charge cord. So, aren't they beautiful? And like onions, they will cause your eyes to have a little bit of sting from the juice. My son's gonna go grab my charger. I didn't realize I was so low on my battery. I am using a Waring Brothers dehydrator. Waring Pro. All right, let's get this plugged in and then we'll continue. This is actually one of my favorite things to do because the herbs are kind of my deal. I've been practicing family herbalism for several years now, and my husband has been extremely supportive with that. So it's been really nice. I've got TNZ and chamomile and all kinds of things. You want to be careful when you're doing this too. You don't want to try to go too quickly and end up cutting your fingers instead of the chive. And I'll probably end up with about 4 to 5 trays of chives. The flowers have almost like a paper right here, kind of like an onion would. I don't know what you're pointing at me. I already answered all those questions. Who had anyone? Oh, yep. I think a lot of them are like that, Lynn. Yeah, this one has a few pieces where the ends are dead, and again, you just trim those off. Oops, is this falling? No, okay. But they're really beautiful and they smell fantastic. But they will get your sinuses, your eyes running and your nose running, especially if you're sensitive to onions. Oh, I got a piece of chive, but that's okay. I got a piece dead right here. Oh, another piece of dead right there. So this is really just super, super simple. So yeah, I guessed that about just right. We've got one more tray. So we'll have a pan of blossoms and we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 trays of chive. And then once this is fully dry, and I'll get back on when it is, and I'll show you how I process it and jar it. Just trimming off the dead ends. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but my granddaughter was watching Pets, and you can hear the dogs whining. She's asleep. And I forgot to shut off the TV. She always says she has to watch something to go to sleep. She always ends up asleep before she actually watches it. Thanks, buddy. What do yours look like, Rose? You'll have to send me a picture. It may be a different variety. Now what you didn't see is before we came in, I did sterilize my surfaces just because, you know, people touch things and you don't want things to get dirty. Because it is a messy process. And that's pretty much it. We're at the end of the barrel. Into the barrel, or yeah, okay. We're at the end of the bowl. So now I'm just gonna clean up the scraps. Oh, we brought in the little ants. Oh, there's 3 of them. Okay. So I'm just gonna throw them in here. And I'm going to give them to my son to take outside so they can go back to what they do. Dump them outside. So then I'm just going to straighten this around to even it out. Push the edges in so we don't have anything outside of the trays. Kind of like pushing hay in a hay bale, really. The next tray on. And you can see they're a little bit raised, but the weight of everything is gonna just kind of smush them down. And that's okay. Interlock them. And then the next one. So my house is going to reek of onion, garlic, chive smell. And that's okay, because we like it. We don't have any problems with that. Elijah, can I have you plug in that cord because my hands are kind of full? And then I'm just gonna smooth out the flowers on the top. One little stem. And then I'm going to put the cover on. And it's okay. Once it starts drying, it will set. It will set down better. It's just because I've put a lot in it. And I put it up on high. And there we go. And that is all there is to drying chives. So that's it. Any questions? All we need to do now is sweep the floor and wash the island again, but we're going to let this go and it's good to go. You're welcome, Kate. Yes, Felicia, definitely watch it after work. It's super simple. So yeah, if there's any questions that you have and the live is over and you watch it later, Go ahead and put them in comments, and I will try to answer them as soon as I see them. All right? Y'all have a great day. Hey y'all, so I just wanted to come back live to show you how we process the chives once they are dried. I'm going to show you what they look like here in the trays. So the flowers, you can see they really did great keeping the color. And these are just simply, we're just going to pick them off and put them in a jar. It's really just as simple as that. So overall, chives are a super, super simple and easy process. Oops. You can hear they're nice and crunchy. Although I'm not sure you can hear that over my dryer because it's rather loud itself. So we're just going to go ahead and get the last of them up here. And there we go. And I'll just go ahead and I'll put a lid and ring on that. But you can see they look really, really, really pretty in the jar. And they'll taste delicious in salad. I know this is just kind of impromptu, Lynn, but I figured I would do it in that way I would have a part two to show the finished product when I upload the garlic processing on YouTube. So, and then the next one, just the chives, and you can see I've got my Ninja ready, and I'm just going to take, they're pretty much like hay sticks at this point, and stick them in, and it's okay if you break them because we're going to be cutting them up anyways. They literally look like dried pieces of hay at this point. So we're just gonna stuff them in there. Be careful that you don't hit your blade if you have a tall blade like I do on mine. And then lock the top on. Oops. I always get this backwards. Oh, good gracious. Here we go. And lock it down. Oh, I don't know why that just got so dark. And power and crush. And you can see it's starting to chop them up. And you can see it does take a little bit. You can see there's still some longer pieces in here because the force of it spinning is going to want it to go to the outer edge of the jar simply because they're light. So the air is going to push them around. So it does take a few minutes. So you can see they're they smell great. Still look a little bit like chopped up hay. And then I just continue to do that until I get the texture that I want. So at this point I'll add some more in. And we'll just keep going from there until the whole tray is done. And that really is all there is to do as far as processing chives. Once I have them all to the consistency I want, I'll go ahead, use a funnel, put them in a jar, put a lid on, and then I'll put them in my pantry, and I'll keep them in a cool, dark area where they're going to stay dry. So that's it. That's all there is for chives. So if you have any questions, let me know as always, and I hope you all have a great day.